Hey guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and today I'm going to do the rapid fire book tag. So I was tagged in this by my friend Mary over at With Cinnamon Please, who's an amazing booktuber, and she also tagged me this like 2 months ago. I'm finally getting around to it. I'm so sorry. But I really like this tag. This is another one that has just been around forever. I feel like everyone has done this before, but I haven't. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. The idea behind this tag is to just answer these questions as quickly as possible without thinking about them too much and just kind of go through it rapid fire, as the name implies. So let's get started. First question, ebook or physical book? That would be physical book for sure. I love ebooks. I read ebooks. I very much love my Kindle, but I do prefer a physical book because I like to be able to see exactly where I am, and I find it much easier to find the motivation to pick them up. Paperback or hardback? The answer is hardback. I love a good hardback. I love when a hardback sort of falls open and stays open on its own. It's like the best feeling ever. I don't love the fact that they don't always fit in my purse. I don't love the fact that they are huge, but they are beautiful and I love them. I love the experience of reading a brand new hardback. It makes me so happy, which explains a lot about my book buying habits. Online or in-store book shopping? The answer is in-store. Of course, I only just started shopping online for books probably late last year, and that is mostly for pre-orders. I much prefer going into a shop, which is one of the reasons that I have a lot of trouble getting a lot of the books that are really hyped up here. I usually manage, like, it's fine, but a lot of American editions don't make it over to the UK, at least not right away, so they're not necessarily available in, say, Waterstones. So it's a little bit of a different experience than I had buying books in the States. Trilogies or series, I don't care. Give me them both. It really depends on what kind of story is being told. I feel like some trilogies are perfect as trilogies. Some can be widely expanded, like Joe Abercrombie's books. He tends to write trilogies, but they're all set in the same world. Same with Robin Hobb. But I also love a good series. I love, like, give me more 10-book chunky fantasy series. Like, it's the best thing ever. So give me either series or trilogies. I don't care. Heroes or villains? Obviously the answer is villains. Villains are so much more interesting, and if I like heroes, they're usually gray area heroes. A lot of my favorite heroes, like Rin from The Poppy War, are very morally gray, or some of my favorite characters are just villainous in general, so that's a really easy one. What book do you want everyone to read? That would be The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I absolutely adore those books. I feel like, in particular, that book is a great way to not only discover science fiction and sort of queer writing, but also it's just a book that tends to suit so many people. What people are looking for in books, that one tends to have. So it's a great recommendation. I think everyone should read it because it's beautiful and it makes me cry. So the next question is to recommend an underrated book. I don't know if they're actually underrated, but they seem to be really underrated here on BookTube. I would highly recommend the Divine Cities trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett. They're some of the best fantasy I've ever read in my entire life. They're super unique. I think a major booktuber just read the first one. Reagan from Peru's Project, I think, just read the first one, so I'm hoping that it's like people are gonna talk about this series because it's amazing. It's so good. Amazing women. He writes some of the best women I've ever read, and yes, that is a man who's writing. He writes some of the best settings. He writes some of the best politics and plots, and oh my god, they're so incredibly good. The last book that I finished was 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, which was fantastic. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I cannot wait for everyone to read it this September. It's gonna be on so many people's best books of 2019 list. I'm calling it right now. It's wonderful. Last book that I bought 3 technically. I bought The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. I bought Zodiac by Romina Russell, and I bought The House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig, which is the book that I'm reading right now. 3 of those are YA. All 3 of those are fantasy. No, 2 of them are fantasy and Zodiac is sci-fi. All YA. The weirdest thing that I've used as a bookmark. Back before Euros came into being, I had been on a trip to France and had some spare francs left over, so I used I think it was a 20 franc note for about 5 years as a bookmark. I also used the cats as a bookmark. They like sat in my book and I just kind of left it there. I don't know if that counts, but it's cute. Used books, yes or no? Fuck yes, I love used books. Used books are amazing. They're not only an amazing way to try out authors that you might not have necessarily wanted to invest the full, say, £15 for a hardcover or £8 for a paperback, but also used books they have so much character and so much life. All of my Lord of the Rings copies, or almost all of my Lord of the Rings copies, are used because I just love the feeling of someone enjoying those stories before me. It makes me so happy. Top 3 favorite genres would be fantasy, sci-fi, and historical fiction. I don't think that's a huge surprise to anyone. Borrow or buy? Buy. I really enjoy the experience of buying books. I love owning books, and I am fortunate enough to have a good job that pays me lots of money and a spare room in the flat and a husband who is very tolerant, so I get to buy a lot of my books. I have no problem borrowing from the library. It's just that I tend to like to own them, so I do. Characters or plot? Absolutely characters. I love a character-driven book. Plot-driven books are fun, but I feel like you get so much more flavor and so much more fun, and just like these incredible in-depth descriptions of characters are like 100% my jam. I absolutely love character over plot. Long or short chapters, I really don't care. I guess it depends on how the story is going. Sometimes really short chapters are super effective for building up tension or for like showing panic or fear or whatever, and long chapters don't break up the story, so you can get really, really into it. So I really don't care. Name the first 3 books you can think of. Okay, Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, probably because I just talked about it. Big Ship at the End of the Universe by Alex White, I think. I don't know why I'm thinking of that. And Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. It's a really random selection. Books that make you laugh or cry. Make me cry any day of the week. Oh my god, it's not hard to do. I cry at everything. I get made fun of a lot by my family and by my husband because I cry at everything. Everything. I love books that make me cry, hence me loving Becky Chambers so much. Our world or fictional world? Absolutely fictional worlds, are you kidding? How boring is our world compared to Westeros or compared to the Shire? Like, come on, obviously fictional worlds are so much better than ours. That's one of the reasons that I read. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? Yeah. I judge every book by its cover. I've actually been in the position where I have not read a book because I hated the cover so much. So the American Daughter of Smoke and Bone, for example, with her with the blue mask, I think is terrible and I hate, and I never actually read those books until I got my hands on the UK version. I thought it was an okay book. I didn't end up loving it or anything, but I like refused to read the book because of that cover. I also think that if I was still in the US, I would never have picked up Becky Chambers books because her US covers are like awful. They're so bad and they make me really angry. So I totally judge books by their covers, usually unfairly. Book to movie or book to TV adaptations? Book to TV, I think. I think that you get a lot more out of TV, and I think that Game of Thrones has really shown that. I always get a little bit nervous when things like fantasy series are adapted to film because I just don't think that you can show the world and the characters and the magic and everything as well in 2 hours as you can over, say, 8 seasons. And finally, series or standalones. This is another one where I really don't care. I will say that the one thing that I don't like is when a standalone is then made into a series years later, because unless the author has the intention to leave that book open-ended, I don't really see how a series can work if it's based off a standalone, or if like a standalone gets a sequel or something like that. So I don't mind either way, but like, don't turn it into something it's not. Come on. That is the end of this tag. That was quite fun. That was really quick as well. This will be a very, very short video because I didn't get to be as long-winded as I usually am. But if you haven't done this tag before, then definitely feel free to do it. I would really love to see your answers. And if you have done it, send me a link because I want to watch it. In the comments down below, let me know if you agree with some of my answers, if you disagree with them, if you have some kind of different reasonings, let me know. I would love to hear from you. Post bookish content to this channel fairly frequently, so go ahead and hit subscribe, check back soon, and I will see you next time.